Hey everyone, this is Craigie Vanver, and today we're doing a taste test of Pringles.
Right. We are trying some different, they're not actually all Pringles, but they are, I would call them Pringles knockoffs. We have each one in a different bowl, and we are going to see, number one, can we tell which one is Pringles? And number two, which one actually tastes the best? So we have, of course, the original Pringles brand. We have the Clancy's, which comes from Aldi. What's the other one? Did you find? Does it come from Hy-Vee?
They didn't really.
We have Super Stacks, which we're not 100% sure because I bought these a while ago. Alexa says Hy-Vee, but I'm not sure. I need to do a little bit more research. I'm thinking they came from Dollar Tree. So after we are done, I'll do some research and I'll put it, I'll write it in the video for sure, so you know. So.
Okay, so.
We don't know which is which.
Okay.
I wrote on the bottom of the can.
On the bottom of the can? Okay, so.
Yeah. I got a palette cleanser here. All right, so let's try the first one and see what we think.
Must be Super Stack.
Think so?
No, it's Stackers.
You think so?
Yeah.
You sure?
No.
I like them. I'm not going to say because I'm the one that put them in the bowls.
All right.
So,
Okay.
I don't know for sure, but.
All right, let's try the second one.
Okay.
It tastes like Pringles to me.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Yes, I am.
Okay, try number 3. Oh.
Mmm.
Much saltier.
No.
Okay.
No.
After that.
Now I'm confused.
Me too.
I gotta try these two.
Number 2 has the least amount of flavor to me. Definitely the least amount of salt. Do one at a time.
I got mine. Which
Okay.
order? Craig, you said,
So,
which one did you say these were?
Pringles. Stackers.
You think these are the stackers. So it's your middle one. Which one were these?
Pringles.
And then this was,
Super Stack.
okay, that's his. And mine too. And I got mine.
I'm not gonna, well, I don't know which,
Oh, I guess you don't, yeah, you really can't do it.
I mean, I know what one of them is for sure, but
Okay,
I don't know what the
now-
other ones are.
Now, Craig, of these, which
think
one do you
this
like
is
the
how they
best?
go.
Which one do you think tastes the best?
Pringles. Pringles are the best.
That's the one you like?
You think, yeah, that's right. Okay, you got them in the right order. I can just tell by looking at them which ones are Pringles, even without knowing. Because they definitely look different than the other ones. You think the Pringles taste best, huh?
Yes.
I do too. Well, what I think is Pringles is what I like the best.
Okay.
Okay, so
All right, so Pringles is
well,
number 2. The can should say 2.
number 2. So
And that's what I have, which I
that's
knew,
what I have,
and that's what Craig
and
has.
that's
So
what Craig. So
we
we
know
all
that.
and Craig and I said the Pringles were the best, and then the Stackers say number 3 on them.
I got that right. That's what I thought. And
Oh,
did know
I
that
got them
one for
backwards.
sure.
I got them backwards. I missed that one. What did Craig? Craig missed it too.
Oh, great.
No, it
No,
doesn't
it's just
matter.
a-
This is just for fun,
It's
Craig.
a taste test, buddy.
Okay, so
My Lord.
hard to tell, but I knew which was which by the thickness. The Stackers are the thickest.
Yeah,
and
and
the
that's-
saltiest.
Well, but I thought these tasted like they were.
They're
thicker.
very similar. Those two chips
They're
are very
all-
similar. It's okay.
Yeah.
We're not getting mad. For me, my preference is the Stackers, which I've always liked these the best. I get these from Aldi's because I like them. To me, they taste like Pringles used to
We're
taste.
just failures.
I think Pringles has taken out some of the fat and some of the salt, which
Oh,
fair
come
enough.
on.
Craig, you've got to stop doing that.
Okay.
Arms
All
down
right.
there.
You can concentrate on this for a little bit, okay? Okay, so to me, the Stackers are my favorite. They definitely have more salt and more fat, and I think that's why they taste better. I think over the years, Pringles has probably either change the fat that they cook them in to be healthier or use less and also use less salt. So they're probably better for you than the other two, but I think taste-wise, Clancy's taste the best.
Well, they're both 150 calories. They both have 12%, 9 grams of fat. The Pringles have more sodium. They've got 7% versus 6%, which is minuscule.
Surprising.
Carbs, these have 6% to, now they go the opposite, 5%. So I'm not eating very many of them, but for a diabetic person, the stackers are better.
That's surprising to me.
Yeah.
And then they just have a little bit of potassium in them.
Now, do those have 2.2 milligrams of iron and 200 milligrams of potassium? Probably from the potato, I suppose.
Nope, they don't show any iron.
That's interesting.
Oh wait, no, these do. The Pringles show no iron.
I mean, it's
but
a
these
very
two,
small amount.
Yeah, it's not. You're not eating for the nutrition. They're a snack, right, Craig?
Okay, all right, Craig.
So me and Craig, we both thought that we like the Pringles best, right?
Yes.
Now, my take on the Clancy's. I think they have less of a chip snap. I think they taste like they've been open for a few days. Right out of the can, I think they do.
Wow, I don't get that at all.
Yeah. So,
Maybe
okay,
they're
we got to
older.
pause right now. Bennett's calling you.
Oh, okay.
Can I go now?
Yeah, you can go.
Yeah, you can take off.
All right, we had to take a little break because we had a phone call coming from Bennett. And during that time, Craig decided to go to his room. I mean, he was just about at his max. I mean...
The whole night has kind of had him right up there.
Right, because... Okay, so we made this fudge tonight. We made Butterfinger Fudge, which we'll be trying. It's in the refrigerator getting hard. But I wasn't as prepared. I thought I had everything I needed. Went to make it, and it said I needed double the candy corn that I had. And I couldn't find my sweetened condensed milk. So we had some delays there.
Yeah, so I went and got the candy, and I picked up evaporated milk. Because as a guy...
Right. Well, if you're not a baker...
All them cans, they're all looking the same to me.
Yeah.
Usually when I always have Nancy text me that stuff, and I didn't ask her to do that. That way I can look at it. So anyway, I brought home the wrong stuff. But then, lo and behold, I went out and looked in the pantry area out in the garage, and bang.
Well, I was 100% sure we had that, but I just couldn't find it.
Yeah, and it was right there.
So Craig was on edge. But I will say this.
Yeah.
He did not have a meltdown. He
was right on the edge all the time.
He was just edgy.
Yeah.
Miraculous.
Yeah.
From
sometimes
6 months ago.
You'll hear him in the video says, "Ooh."
Mm-hmm.
That's like Craig going, crap.
Yeah.
Doggone it.
Mm-hmm.
That's him.
Well,
Ooh.
and the biggest mistake we can make is saying something like, "Oh, darn it," because then he automatically thinks something's really wrong, and he reacts the same way, only more. So
yeah, he thinks he should be upset too. And then after we got the pot, everything. Then you didn't add the extra candy corn.
I know.
Anyway.
We went on to,
so
I think
we had everything at that point, and I wouldn't even had to win anyway.
That's how my day's gone today. Yeah. But I think the fudge is fine. It hasn't.
If it's a little
I
less
think it's
sweet,
going to be less sweet, which is great. Just tasting the fudge from making it, I think it's really going to taste like Butterfinger. I found I saw the recipe when I was flipping through Reels.
I'll be the judge of that because I'm somewhat of a Butterfinger connoisseur.
Aficionado.
For a long time ago.
It's got peanut butter in it, so can't really go wrong.
And that's what it's weird when I eat a Butterfinger candy bar. I don't know why it is. I don't taste peanut butter.
Yeah, I never think of it as being peanut butter.
It's
I don't know what
toffee or
flavor I
something
think,
is,
but
I
it
kinda
actually
get
is
from
peanut
it.
butter. Who doesn't love Butterfinger? Let me know.
Yeah, I love Butterfinger.
I always think of the Bart Simpson. Better not lay a finger on my Butterfinger.
Don't lay a finger on my Butterfinger.
So Craig was already a little on edge from that. Actually, he's been very verbal all day. every little thing has really just kind of made him a little bit worse. And honestly, so I took Craig and Libby we went to Olive Garden for lunch, and then we went to Indianola Walmart, because I've said before, that Walmart's just a lot easier, and the Walmart close to us is so busy all the time. It's like it's wiped out of so many things.
Yeah.
I put in a Walmart order last night, and 5 of the things I ordered out of 12 weren't available. And the one item that I wanted the most, which was some beer battered fish fillets, that's what they were out of. So I made the whole order around that. So I wanted to go to Indianola Walmart today because they usually always have everything, and they did. Yeah. But I was tired today. I did not get to sleep till like 3:30. For one thing, I wanted to get my video out, and I know that's crazy to stay up that late, and I actually had all day yesterday to do it, but Libby and Josie were here all day, and it's just almost impossible to get much done when they're here, because you start and like 3 minutes later they need something.
Yeah, especially if they know you're doing something. If you tell them, hey, I need some time right now, are you good? I don't need you bothering me for 15 or 20 minutes. All that's doing to a 4-year-old is saying, hey, every 30 seconds go, hey, Grandma, could I get...
Well, Libby's so into coloring and doing crafts.
Yeah.
And so yesterday, let me see if I can grab this. Yesterday, this is what Libby created, which if you watch Friends, this reminds me of an original buffet. It's 3D art.
Yeah, you got like it. I don't know if you can see it. She's got string taped to this Welch's bottle, and then
and she had to have a square cut out for her.
Yeah.
She has 2 needles, which I told her not to use the pokey things out of a box. And,
she did.
And there's
she wanted buttons or something.
Yeah, buttons. There's like half a bottle of glue here. Oh no, I'm gonna have to glue that back on.
We'll get the Gorilla Glue out for that.
But
hello,
Kitty,
cat.
Come on, your cat. So anyway, she kept me busy getting her things for her craft project.
Yeah,
that
picture,
was one of the many things.
You can't really see on it, but the glue that she used on that, it was pooled up, and it was like a 1/4 inch thick.
She loves glue.
Yeah.
It's finally dry.
Yeah.
Took all day. It took 24 hours to dry.
Well, she put her finger in it where it was still, after it had been there all day, and it was wet, and she kind of squished the stuff out, so it actually dried then for her. So
yeah. So
fun times.
I could just go upstairs and say I'm going to work, but honestly, I don't want to miss that time with them. So
yeah, they're funny, man.
Yeah, they're not going to be this age for very long. It goes so fast. But today, so after having not much sleep last night, I took them, and I mean, it's quite a bit taking Craig sometimes, just keeping him at least semi-quiet and not getting upset. And then I added Libby into it. Yeah. And I was tired. And on the way home, I just felt like I was just at the end of my rope. Not that I was getting a little grouchy, which I don't like to get grouchy. I don't want to be grouchy grandma, but I was getting a little edgy.
We just watched a Bluey episode where the what's the wild little puppy, their cousin, Muffin, yeah, Muffin was with them, and they were doing the grannies, and Muffin wanted to be a granny, and they're like, one was like forgetful granny, one's like I
don't think I've seen that
sweet
episode.
Granny, and then Muffin had on some stuff, and it's like, which one do I get to be? And they're like, I don't know. He goes, I gotta have something, and they're like, grouchy granny. And then there ended up being a real grouchy granny in the episode, and they were in combat basically at a garage sale. Bluey's great, I tell you. I love Bluey. And I love the grandpa on Bluey. I hadn't been in very many, but I really relate to the grandpa.
So, anyway, we were in the van on the ride home, and I don't very many times feel irritated by Craig's constant verbiage. and sometimes it's loud. Usually I just block it out, but today it was just like nails on a chalkboard. And when I got home, I just went upstairs and took a nap. But I was sitting up there thinking, this must be what Craig feels like. Why he gets so irritated, because he always, things are probably always bothering him like that, and building, and he has low coping skills. I've always said that's Craig's biggest deficit. So he's constantly all day long coping with all of these things that are probably at least slightly irritating to him and uncomfortable. And for me, I guess it was just a light bulb moment, like, wow, this is probably what Craig's dealing with a lot of the time. So I think that will help me to have more compassion and understanding of what I've had people, oh, things just keep interrupting, there's a dishwasher. But I've had people on here say, describe how it is before you have a meltdown, how things just build up and build up and build up, and finally like the volcano has to erupt. And I kind of felt like that, but I didn't erupt, I just took a nap.
Yeah. I mentioned that, like, with Craig as an autistic adult, it's if you can get him to let off a little steam a little at a time and everything, it's almost like the pressure cooker. Don't hold that weight down and let it explode. You let it where it'll and that's how I think that's where Craig gets more vocal with his his tics, like
it's how he's coping
and everything. Yeah, he's trying to get past it.
He was probably doing all that verbiage because he was coping, and we tend to just bottle it up inside and not use our coping mechanisms. We probably have different ones than just talking out loud, but I do talk to myself often.
Does anybody else do that the older you get? I see you do it, and I do it too. As we walk around the house, I don't know if it's with me. I always thought it was because at 3M I was always around a lot of people. I rarely, even the office that I was in, there was 3 or 4 other of the engineers that were in that office where I was. So there was always people to talk to. There was always noises that drowned out what you were saying, and I always walked around thinking on my feet, when I'd be troubleshooting, whatever it was, machinery or whatever. And I think that's why I talk to myself. I think I always have.
I have talked to myself for as long, just like when I'm doing something.
I thought
like
maybe
I'll be
when we got older, when it was just the two of us, and what we saw Craig, but he's pretty quiet up there sometimes in his room, and the house, if you don't have the TV on, the house is really quiet, and quiet can be kind of creepy at times, I think.
I feel like I'm always like coaching myself when I talk, like, okay, no, I've got to go get the laundry, and like almost like I'm monologuing what I'm doing.
Self-assurance things, that you're doing what you're supposed to. Yeah, you're checklists kind of things. But I don't know. Is there anybody else 60 or above?
Yeah,
do you think you talk more to yourself than
Are
you
we
used
not
to?
the only ones?
I always thought she talked to herself because I don't listen.
Well, that is true, especially when the TV's on. Even commercials, though. I mean, I don't get that part.
Because I have to make sure the commercials are done properly.
Well, that's just it. You're always super analyzing everything.
Yeah, I can't help it.
I see that trait in Bennett, too.
I did it my whole life.
And you probably get it from your dad.
Yep, Dad did it, too. My dad used to... I'd see him quite often, but sometimes if it'd go like 3 days or so when I haven't seen him, I would walk into his house, and he'd have a piece of paper on his kitchen table, and he'd have like 15 different things wrote down there that he wanted to talk about, because he didn't have anybody else. He was by himself, and he wanted. Those were conversation pieces, probably stuff that bugged him.
Yeah, that he wanted to talk about, but there was no one there to talk about him with.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of a brilliant idea.
Yeah. And the real funny thing was, as we'd talk about it, because he was Dutch and he might only have like about a third of the paper used up, as we talk about him, he'd cross them off because he'd still use that same paper. And my other siblings would come over and he'd use the back. He'd turn it over and they'd look at that stuff and said, "I think Dad's going off the rocker." And I'm like, "Why is that?" And I said, "Well, he's got all this stuff written down like in that shorthand or something." And then he crosses it off like, "Nope, that wasn't, that's not a good idea," or whatever and everything.
No, they didn't
They
realize what he was doing.
They had no idea, you know. I mean, I know people are busy, and my siblings are busy, and not all of them are as close. I mean, I was only a block and a half away from my dad as the crow flies. So it was easy for me as I drove by to look, and I could see if his truck was in his driveway, and I could stop, you know. And my life was set at a point where, you know, I didn't have a lot of responsibility right after work, so I'd stop there a lot. And it's harder for them. So, but yeah, none of them had ever been over there, and he just wrote that stuff down for me, because him and I, we are two peas in a pod. I mean, we're so much alike. It's not even funny.
You really are.
Now it's amazing how much I look like him when he was 60, and starting to look like my grandpa. My grandpa had the same high peak on his hair, and he combed his hair back and everything. That's who I think I look more like now than my dad. Actually, I look more like my grandpa.
Okay. I today also wrote my things down so I wouldn't forget.
I like lists.
So one of our viewers, they sent me a link to a YouTube documentary called Adult Autism Aging Out. And I'd encourage you to watch it. I felt like it was very informative, and maybe you will connect with it in a way, or maybe it'll help you to understand someone else's situation. One thing in watching it, and I told Joe, of all those people, and really of all the people I've seen on TV, I haven't ever seen one that I feel like that's where Craig is. And I know, and they even start the show out saying, if you know one person with autism, you know one person with autism. And it's true, they're all different. We know like 3 in Knoxville that were around Craig's age, and they were all quite different.
4.
Yeah, 4. And one of them was a lot closer to how Craig is than the other 2. However, he still wasn't, I think he had very different interests, but his talking was very different than how Craig's is. So he was always very breathy, or I don't know, it's hard to explain. But he was very social. He liked to come out and talk to people and talk to you about movies.
Yeah, you had to train your ears to
just
what part of his speaking was where the emphasis was.
Right.
And once you got that down, he was super easy to understand and talk to.
So I have had a few people on here say, your son reminds me so much of mine. And I would love to meet someone that I feel like is just right there where Craig is, because I feel like a lot of people watch the videos and think that Craig is more able to socialize than he is. I mean, he's very verbal and he will talk to you, but really you have a limit of about 5 minutes.
And that's us.
That's us.
That's us. That's not strangers, just slight acquaintances or anything like that. That's just with us. Otherwise, he has no interest in talking to anybody else.
And it's, you have to find something that will interest Craig. Like, you're not going to talk to Craig about a world event unless it includes like the Muppets or something that,
somebody
or Disney.
That did voiceovers.
Yeah,
it's got to be out of Craig's interest, and I do, and I've heard you do. You use that stuff to get him engaged. Then you can ask him other stuff,
right?
But because then you've got his interest, you've got him piqued. And yeah, you're right. You got about 5 minutes of that though.
It's about, I know tonight when we're doing the taste test,
he's done.
After 5 minutes, Craig was ready to be done. Like, that was just at the top. Now, the one exception is when we're cooking. Craig will stay engaged longer, but he's not necessarily talking to me the whole time. But he'll stay engaged and do the recipe for, I'd say we could do probably 15 minutes. But as soon as there's a break, he's ready to go up to his room and take a break. And I think he just needs to go up there and then decompress.
Yeah, like right now, he's very, very vocal up there. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. But
I had someone comment that.
You can hear him up there, and we're downstairs in the kitchen. And
He pretty much talks. If Craig is quiet, I'm worried that he's sick or I think he's asleep, because usually you can hear Craig, and people might think that would drive us crazy, but it doesn't me. In fact, like I said, most time I can just tune it out and not even realize he's doing it unless he's really loud.
Yeah, it bothers me a little bit, but only because like I watch TV like I'm dissecting a frog.
Right.
And that's how I watch TV. So I want to when I'm engaged in a TV show, I want to be able to see everything, and I want to hear every single word that's uttered.
And notice everything in the background.
That's what I mean. I want to watch everything.
Yeah, not just the storyline.
I'm not always looking, what they've done wrong and everything, but like mysteries or suspense or something like that, I like to figure it out before they actually show you. That's just fun.
Yeah. And I'm more...
And I bet there's a lot of guys out there the same way.
Oh, yeah. I'm more of a watching TV multitasker, where I'm usually trying to watch TV, edit a video, pay bills. So I'm not paying attention to a lot of details, which is one of the reasons I like to watch YouTube, because usually on YouTube you don't have to listen really closely. But when we're watching Utopia right now, which Joe already saw. But we're having a hard time finding new things that we both like to watch. So we've been watching that.
I really can't believe she likes it.
I like it because here's what it takes for me to like a show. I have to be able to connect to the characters. It can't just be people getting killed or zombies, or that's why I don't really like those shows, because I don't feel any connection to the people on there. We've watched some zombie shows that I've liked, and I liked that Midnight Mass, the vampire one, because though they did a lot of character.
Said vampire. That's a giveaway.
They did. Oh yeah, they did a lot of character development, and that's what I need. We tried watching another show that Craig really liked. Joe really liked, about zombies, but I felt like it was it was one you said that you really liked and I like, and I didn't like it because it was just all people getting killed all the time. There was not really a lot else about it. It was trying to defeat the zombies. Was it The Last of Us?
Oh, it might have been.
Yeah. I couldn't get into that one.
Yeah.
I can't take too much of that.
Well, you got to get with The Last of Us. Those of you watch it, you got to get past a few episodes, and get the characters out on their own.
I liked the first episode where it was the father and the daughter, and I was like, oh, I'm going to like this.
At the beginning.
And then...
No. There's people who haven't seen
I'm not going to say what happened,
yeah.
But it just turned into just mostly people trying to survive. I'll put it that way.
Depressing.
It's depressing to me, which is why I didn't like that one, Alice in Borderland. That was too depressing for me.
Yeah. That's.
I have to have somewhere in between.
That's Japanese stuff, and you just got to take that as light entertainment.
It's still seeing people getting killed all the time.
Yeah, you just don't get involved in the characters.
That's the problem, because I want to like the characters and I want to see some hope and maybe some romance or friendship.
Is that your last one you're talking about?
No, we're not going to read all of them.
Oh, because we're at 22 minutes.
we're too far. So
and we've already stopped at once.
I actually have some things to talk about probably tomorrow, but I'm going to end on this. When we were in Florida, we had all amazing Uber drivers, but we had this one. And when we got in the car, he said he wanted to play us a song, and he played us Bob Marley, Three Little Birds.
Well, he wanted to do trivia.
Oh, that's right.
To engage, and so he's pressing up some songs, and
It was always that song, though, I feel like.
No,
One
he
other
played,
maybe.
He played 3 different songs.
He played "Don't Worry, Be Happy."
Yeah, they were all Bob Marley songs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was all same artist.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I surprised him since we had been to Jamaica a couple times. I actually don't mind Bob Marley.
I like Bob Marley. His songs are happy
Yeah.
and upbeat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I knew 2 of the 3.
Well, I knew. Well, I didn't. I've heard this song.
Yeah, you'd heard it, but you didn't know the title.
But he played this song like 3 times. He said, "I'm going to play this for Joe," and then he played it for me, and then he played it for Craig, and we had to sing along. And
he was from Africa originally. He had immigrated.
He was a young guy.
Yeah,
he wasn't very old.
Yeah, and he was. Yeah, I've had a couple of guys from Nigeria worked out at 3M, they had the same kind of boisterous, just happy to be where they're at in life, and that's how this young
you
man
left
was.
the ride feeling happy and upbeat, and that song has been stuck in my head, and I'm trying to use it with Craig. And I think kind of tonight I got him a little, because he was upset because we kept being out of things for making our recipe. And play the song if you've never heard it, but it's "Don't Worry, Every Little Thing is Going to Be All Right."
About a thing, 'cause every little thing, she gonna be all right.
There you go. It's a fun song, and it's a good one to get stuck in your head, and a good one to bring to your mind when you're feeling overwhelmed about something. So I just wanted to end there, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks for watching, and I think you'll probably see us tomorrow night. We don't have grandkids until Friday. With that, I'll say
What?
see you tomorrow.
We'll still see those kids, I guarantee.
Probably. If everything goes as planned.
Oh, I have Livy tomorrow after preschool.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I still have.
But Craig and I, well, I'll see her too. But Craig and I have our volunteering and our things we're going to do after that. So
I haven't seen anything from her mom. I might go pick her up tomorrow. But she'd like that.
In the pickup.
She likes riding in the pickup.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Peace.
Today is Monday, October 9th, and we're eating lunch at Olive Garden.
Hello, and happy Columbus Day! And today, we're going to Olive Garden for lunch and go to Walmart in Indianola.
That's right. Is there anything special you want to get while we're out?
Make stuffed biscuits.
Yes. I found a recipe for stuffing biscuits, and we're going to try it. It's a recipe I found in Bon Appetit, which is a magazine I bought from the library for $1. And the biscuits look like something Craig is really going to like. You want to tell her what you want?
I'll have the chicken strips and fries, please.
Okay. And Craig, can you introduce our special guest who's with us today?
Today, our special guest star is Livy.
Yes, Libby came with us today, and she's playing some games on the tablet. How do you like those games, Libby?
And I like them how I play them.
Yeah. Have you been able to figure out what to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want to talk into the microphone?
Yeah.
I'm trying out these microphones. So far, they've been working pretty good. Got a little fine tuning. Craig likes to hold it too close, but I think we'll get the hang of it. The salad has arrived. I love some Olive Garden salad. And then, of course, we got the breadsticks. We're getting some marinara to dip them in, and I chose the chicken gnocchi soup, and it's quite delicious, actually. Got the lasagna frita. I like to get this, and then I can take pretty much most of it home to Joe, because after having the soup and breadstick and salad, I'm not a lot hungry, but I love this. It's so good. And Livy said she had something to say.
Well, I want to come here again, and I want to come to this grandma's house again, but I'm not again, so I'm going to come here again sometime, so.
You are?
So, and when I see you again, I'll just sit down and never play there, but I will play there for a little bit. But my mom might have to work, so she might can't go in the house. So I might have to give her high fives outside. So,
Okay.
and other thing, and I love my mom.
That's very sweet. Do you want to give us a review of Olive Garden?
Olive Garden, the best Italian restaurant. The chicken strips and fries taste good. The waitress is nice. I give it 2 thumbs up, 5 stars, and a Pringles Vampire Silver Purple.
I agree. It was a great experience. Okay, Libby, what do you think about Olive Garden?
Well, I like coming here, so I think I will come here when I want to come here again. So I'll tell my mean mom when I want to come here again.
So
I
you
know
like
this
it?
place, so and I really like this place.
This next section of the video will be voiced over. I did something wrong with my mic. I mic'd Craig and my mic wasn't working, so all you could hear was Craig. We are on our way into Walmart and looking for some items for a recipe we will be making. I found a recipe for stuffing biscuits, and Craig is very excited about that. I had Craig help me get a pumpkin out. I needed another pumpkin. Craig's great help that way. I wish I had his long arms. These fish fillets are actually one of the things that I came to Walmart for. I put them on our online order yesterday, and the Walmart over by us was out of them. So I was happy to find them at the Walmart in Indianola today. This fun box of Cheez-Its caught my eye, but actually they're just regular Cheez-Its in a fancy box.
Pumpkin spice frosted flakes?
What do you think about that?
I've never seen that one before.
Yeah. I don't want them. Do you want those?
No.
It appears that Walmart is torturing these poor mums. I'm not sure who's going to buy them.
Hey everyone, this is Craig Vampire here, and today we're making Butterfinger Fudge.
I saw this recipe on a Facebook reel, and I thought it would be fun for us to try. The person who made it said it tastes just like a Butterfinger. The ingredients are candy corn, 2 cups of white. It takes 2 bags of candy corn, because we had to go buy another one because I thought it was just one. So it's 2 bags of candy corn. We're going to have to add another one, or 3 cups. We have 2 cups of white chocolate chips. I bought the Ghirardelli ones. We have a can of sweetened condensed milk, and 1 cup of peanut butter. And what's our favorite kind of peanut butter, Craig?
Jif?
That's right. We always get Jif. In the video I watched, they use the stovetop, but we're going to use the microwave. So the first thing we need to do is pour the candy corn. And we're going to put the candy corn and the peanut butter into the bowl. So we need to get a spatula and put that peanut butter in there too. And what we're going to do, is we're going to try a minute and stir. Basically, the only thing you have to do with all this is get it to melt all together. The last thing you're going to add is these chocolate chips because they burn easily. For the first step, you melt. It's okay, you just wipe it on the side of the cup or on the side of the bowl. Okay, so can you kind of mix that together? Mix together the peanut butter and the candy corn. And then we'll put it into the microwave for a minute. And they cooked on the stovetop for a total of 3 minutes. We're just going to try a minute and then we might just go 30 seconds at a time. Let's see. Looks good. Okay, so we've got it cooking for 1 minute. Okay, stop licking things now. One of our viewers wants to know, have you ever seen My Life as a Teenage Robot?
Yeah, I saw it. It's been 20 years.
20 years?
You know the voice of Janice Queenman?
I don't.
Queen? She's the one who voiced Jenny Wakeman.
So what year did it come out then?
2003.
What was the show about?
It's about a teenage robot named Jenny who saved the world from evil. Because she was a super heroic robot who was designed as a teenager by her mother.
Did you like that show?
Yup.
Who else was in it besides her?
There's Brad and Tuck, Sheldon, Britt and Tiff, and others.
All right, let's check it out and see our progress. It looks like it's kind of starting. Here, let's use this spatula instead. So we're going to stir it. The peanut butter is nice and melty at this point. So we will put it back in the microwave for another minute.
Another minute?
Okay, yep. Just try another minute. Well, it's been 2 minutes now. I can see candy corn starting to melt. So let's give that a stir and see where we're at. You can see the candy corn is dissolving. Here, that's a better view. Ooh, it's turning orange. Is it hard to stir? Okay, let's see what our next step is. What are you adding now, Craig?
Condensed milk?
Yes, sweetened condensed milk. 1 can.
Don't want party anymore. It looks like it's can.
You probably use your spatula to get the rest out. So now Craig's going to stir it together. I'm a little nervous that maybe I cooked the candy corn and the peanut butter a little too long, but we're getting it mixed together, so hopefully it's going to be all right. I'll let you know in the end. But it's getting creamy again, so that's good. All right, we're using our whisk. So Craig, if you push down on that whisk, no, go from the top. Now push it. See how it works? Kind of like a mixer. Our fudge is looking nice and creamy now. So the next thing that we do now is we're going to put it back in the microwave. It says to cook it another 3 minutes on the stovetop. We're gonna start out with 30 seconds in the microwave, okay? We cooked it in the microwave at 30-second intervals 4 different times. I tested it in some cold water and it's at the softball stage, which I'm sure is what they're aiming for. It's not a lot of directions with this. It just says don't boil it. So that's why we did it every 30 seconds. Now, Craig, you need to pour in the white chocolate chips.
This one?
And we just need to mix those up until they're melted. You need all of them, though. Not just one.
All of them?
I'm going to be honest with you. We messed up a little bit and only added, after we went especially and got another bag of candy corn, we forgot to add it. So I'll let you know how this turns out. I think it's going to turn out fine though. It tastes amazing.
I think it's sticky.
Here, I'll do it, okay? So this is what it looks like once we have the chocolate chips melted in. And now we are going to, can you carry this over to the island? And we're going to pour it into this pan that we have. It's a 9x9 pan with foil, and it's been sprayed with release spray. So then you put it in the refrigerator for like an hour to set up. We have the fudge in the pan now, and we're going to pop it in the fridge for an hour, and then we'll do a taste test.
Here goes.
All right, so what are we tasting?
The butterscotch.
Yeah, the Butterfinger Fudge that we made. What do you think?
Tastes like Butterfinger.
Yeah, it tastes a lot just like peanut butter fudge to me. I did see where some people drizzle chocolate over the top. it makes a really good peanut butter fudge. Maybe it is like Butterfinger. I think you need the chocolate to make it taste more like a Butterfinger. But a very easy fudge. It's nice and creamy.
Okay, here goes. Little Red Riding Hood, a favorite story in rhythm and rhyme, retold by Jonathan Peele, illustrations by Luke Sequin McGee, music by Marco Bleener. The story of a little girl in a red hooded cape walking to her grandmother's house had been told for hundreds of years. Like many fairy tales, this story has a moral. It teaches children to obey their parents and not talk to strangers. To find out if Red Riding Hood gets away from the big bad wolf, turn the page and sing along. Your grandmother's sick and lying in bed. Little Red Riding Hood's mother said, I packed her a basket of apples and bread. Get on your way, Red Riding Hood. Little Red left her with her basket and all. She walked through the wood where the brown leaves fall. She met a big wolf that was hungry and tall. Get on your way, Red Riding Hood. Where you going? The wolf slyly said, to visit my grandmother lying in bed. I really can't stop to talk, replied Red. Get on your way, Red Riding Hood. Red hurried away, but the wolf quickly sped. He reached Granny's house first and found her in bed. He swallowed her down and then sweetly said, Come inside, Red Riding Hood. Isn't she brave? Isn't she good? She wears her red hood. When she walks through the wood, be careful, Little Red Riding Hood. Red Riding Hood knocked, and the wolf said, Come in. He held the blankets up and close to his chin. Come close to your granny, he said with a grin. Run away, Red Riding Hood. Little Red, said the wolf, come closer, come near. Then Red said, What big ears you have, Granny dear. The better to hear you. Come closer, come here. Run away, Red Riding Hood. Isn't she brave? Isn't she good? She wears her red hood. When she walks through the wood, be careful, Little Red Riding Hood. What big eyes you have, oh grandmother dear. The better to see you, it's so dark in here. The wolf said, Come to your granny, come near. He will eat you, Red Riding Hood. What big eyes you have, oh grandmother dear. The better to see you, it's so dark in here. What big teeth you have, they will fill me with fear. The better we eat you, Red Riding Hood. Red Riding Hood gasped. Someone help me, she cried. A big, strong lumberjack who was walking outside rushed into the house with his axe sharp and wide. That mean wolf is dead, Red Riding Hood. Then Granny popped up. She hugged Little Red. They smiled as that lumberjack. Thank you, they said. Then Granny said, Rats, there's a wolf here in my bed. That mean old wolf is dead, Red Riding Hood. Isn't she brave? Isn't she good? She wears her red hood when she walks through the woods. Be careful, Little Red Riding Hood. Ding Hood. The end. And this is Craigie Ferris saying, if you like this video, please click and subscribe. And happy Columbus Day!